All right. So before we dive into the actual questions, just in a lighter mood, what is your preferred main meal of the day? Is it lunch? Is it breakfast? Is it dinner? And why?
I prefer breakfast and lunch. I think, should I choose only one or can I choose
Yes,
two?
just one.
Only one. Okay, I prefer breakfast to
Okay.
start the day.
Can you tell us why?
Yeah, because breakfast is important to bring my mood for the whole day. So
Okay.
yeah, even though, yeah. Okay, that's my brief question. I
Okay.
answer,
So
sorry.
yeah, it helps set your mood for the day, which I think is
Yeah.
a good enough reason to prefer it. All right. So the first section of of this interview is looking at individual level factors that might be affecting diet behavior and might be having impact on health outcomes. So let's just talk about the general awareness about diet and health among Indonesian people. So as an environmental researcher, I know your field of expertise is urban and regional planning. What are your own thoughts about a healthy diet? How would you define a healthy diet?
Yeah. Okay. In general, I think the healthy diet is actually very important because in the end of the day, it will significantly influence the quality of the individual. So the good quality of the people comes from the good diet. So
Okay.
that is very important. Yeah.
All right. And I also know from the survey information that you are Javanese. Your ethnicity is Javanese.
Mm-hmm.
How would the Javanese people, in your opinion, how would they define a healthy diet?
Okay. First of all, even though I'm Javanese, but I grew up in Jakarta. So
Okay.
in Jakarta we have our own ethnicity, and in Jakarta it's not really. So basically, I didn't really grow up in Javanese culture, but
Okay.
my parents is Javanese, something like that.
Okay. All right.
And back to your questions.
Yeah. So
To your question. Yeah, back to your questions. I think there is a different perspective between the Javanese old generation with the younger Javanese generation.
Okay.
In the old Javanese generation, I think they think about good healthy diet is have a rice. Rice is very important. Carbo is very important. So eating carbo is very important.
Okay.
And they likely to eat sweet things, and they think being health is you need to drink milk every morning, something like that.
Okay.
So in the morning you need to drink milk. It's just like an idea of being a healthy, especially for the children. Yeah, and we need to eat with rice. So carbo is very important. But the younger generation, they may have already changed their perspective that healthy diet means you need to eat more protein and you need to reduce meat, something like that. Yeah. I may say like that in a very general perspective, even though there must be some combination, of course.
Okay. Yeah, and in reality, because often people think or know the right thing, and at times they don't necessarily follow it. So in your own perspective, between the knowledge of a healthy diet and the practice of a healthy diet, are there discrepancies?
Yeah, I think so, but some of them they also didn't really aware with the healthy diet because maybe because they don't know, and maybe because they are not have enough money to afford a good diet, something like that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, what are some of their food preferences and food choices that may impact their health, especially that may increase the risk for obesity or high blood pressure or high cholesterol?
Yeah, actually, most Javanese, we eat what we call as tempe and tofu. So I don't know whether you are quite familiar with Indonesian food, or have you been in Indonesia before?
No, but I know tempeh, tofu are kind of regular.
Yeah. It's very popular. Yeah. It's very
Yes.
popular in Indonesia, and especially very popular for Javanese people, because we believe most Javanese think there is one kind of food which is delicious, cheap, and healthy. But the problem is most of us eat it. We fried it using oil, so it is not really healthy anymore. Yeah, because we used to eat it every day. Yeah. I don't know. I'm sorry whether I answer your question or not.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are. Yes, this is just, I know this is not definitely your area. It's not necessarily your area, but we all eat food. And so we are all experts when it comes to nutrition.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in general, yeah, before you move to the next question, what I think it's interesting in most of Indonesian food is we eat too much fried things. So most of our main food is using oil, and most of us cannot afford to buy a healthy, quite expensive oil. So just normal palm oil, and we used to eat it every day. Yeah. When I live in, let's say, in Europe or in Australia, then my food is a lot different by using very less oil. Yeah, that's in general.
Okay, that's helpful. Yeah. So, where do you think people typically get advice on diet and health?
I think most of them will get it from the online stores, and also from their parents, from the family. Yeah. So an online source and family members is important source of information.
Okay. Are you aware of the current recommendations for a healthy diet based on the Indonesian dietary guidelines?
Yeah. I think it's important, and I'm aware of it. Yes.
Okay. So what are some of these guidelines? What does the Indonesian dietary guidelines recommend for maintaining good health?
You mean to say Indonesian dietary guideline, the formal one, or the one that we can get easily from the online source?
The current one.
The most current and formal one.
Yes.
What I'm trying to say is actually us in Indonesia, we haven't really get a kind of formal guidelines from the government, let's say, to direct us what kind of food should we eat. So we get many informations from different online resources, and sometimes we talk about it. Yeah. And so in general, in Indonesia, we have, and very general in Indonesia, we have, in bahasa, it called 4 sehat 5 sempurna. That's the most common term that all Indonesian knows. It means 4 is 4. So 4 types of food, and one and becomes 5 into the perfect one. Have you heard about this before?
No, I think people have made reference to it like the old guidelines and the new guidelines. So that's basically what I've heard. But continue, I'm following.
Yeah. So the one that I know from this very common